Welcome, everyone. We're so glad to bring you this part 2 of the Lardo Weeping workshop. We've been working with Peter Sopczynski, our composer, and Terry Galloway, the original librettist, for a number of years now, and we're sorry we can't be in person, but are just really excited to be able to share this part of the workshop and journey with you. I will turn it over to Peter. He'll tell you a little bit about his journey with the piece and a little bit about what you missed in part 1 if you weren't with us 2 years ago when we did that.
Yes, so we're here to see part 2 of Lardo Weeping. The play was originally by Terry Galloway, and I saw that play maybe in 2007 or something like that. I don't remember exactly, but it was a long time ago, and it made such a big impression on me. It's a one-woman play she wrote, performed herself, and maybe 4 years ago, Lola reached out to me and commissioned an opera. And for some reason, we talked a lot about various scenarios and maybe like what the forces would be and how big of scale of a production it would be. And for some reason, this piece just kept coming back to me, and it was, a decade or more later. So we kind of bid in and did it, and we got in contact with Terry, and she has just been an angel on our shoulder the whole time. Also the devil and the angel. She's kind of both. And I hope she's out there watching.
Hi, Terry.
Hi, Terry. We can't wait to show you what we've been doing. So I'm going to turn it back over to you to tell us what we missed in the first half, because we're starting on the second half.
Yeah, so the beginning of the piece, you meet Dinah Lafarge. She is an eccentric. She lives alone in her small apartment, and she, has been getting lots of overdue notices for her bills that she's not really keen on paying, doesn't have the money to do that. She's talking about her, the juxtaposition between her love of high art and poetry and her love of kind of like low art or garbage, and kind of how both can be equally exciting to her. She also talks a little bit about, you see a lot of her like checking off different sections of her food chart, which is up in the air. She eats a banana. She has all sorts of different food adventures, which will continue on in this part. You'll see more of that. And we just left her after she sang a really beautiful aria about the dodo bird, which she identifies with as kind of a kindred spirit to her. She feels like she's the last of an endangered species, like the last dodo bird was. And so we pick up, she's writing another letter, and that's where we are.
That's right. She writes a lot of letters, and so we're going to see her write another letter to the Environmental Protection Agency. She's going to coin the phrase, "I'm a rather large, intellectual, quite sexual woman of independent means." And she's going to recall a story about when she was a gang of marauding young boys.
Yeah, so with that, we hope that you will sit back and enjoy this kind of workshop concert iteration of the second part of Lardo Weeping.
Pressing correspondence of the day, Series D, letter 126, to the Environmental Protection Agency. I would like, if at all possible, to be declared an endangered species. I'm a rather large, intellectual, quite sexual woman of independent means. She's a biological clock is running out. Hastily. Do you think I sound like a crank? Well, what choice do I have? 'Tis the majority in this as all prevails. Assent, and you're safe. You are straightway dangerous and handled with the chain. Emily Dickinson, another woman who had sense enough to sit in her room and view with alarm. Chicken, 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 chicken. Chicken? That is protein. Last one. Ah! Maybe I should make the effort, get out again, mingle, become one with the multitudes. No, thank you. The last time I became one with the multitudes, I was 9. I was a member of a gang of marauding young boys, as it were. I could beat the shit out of the boys. Boys are so puny at that age. And I had the requisite foul mouth, so they quickly embraced me as one of their own. Well, one day we boys decided that we were going to capture us a girl. So we captured us a weak one, and we all took turns sitting on top of her. The idea was to sit on top of her, then kiss her hard enough to get her mouth open, then to let go with a drooling gob of spit. That was it. So we're taking our turns, and she's screaming for help and for her mother. But no one can hear her 'cause her mouth was full of spit. Help, help, help! And then it was my turn. And I had been enjoying the camaraderie up until that point. And I had been sucking on my cheeks to get the longest, most drooling piece of spit. It had become something of a contest by then. So I get on top of her. And of course, I didn't really know her, but I knew the look in her eyes. I knew the look in her eyes.
So, as you can tell, we're getting a little deeper into Dinah's psyche, and we're getting some of the more traumatic moments of her life and not the bombastic kind of funny, jokey moments that we had more of in the first part. In the next part, we do come back to a little bit more of her kind of fun and verve for life sort of characters. And she tells us about a time when she was working at the corner drugstore and knew a lot of prostitutes and sex workers. And she kind of has created this character persona, Bubbles LaRue, who's a comedian and has a whole stand-up number. So Peter, what should the audience listen to for this little section?
Well, there's everything's draped in this sort of sensual New Orleans kind of massage parlor vibe. And she is exploring the sexual side of her body through an alter ego, I think is what's going on here. So, and this alter ego just has no hang-ups sexually and is just completely loose and free. And her name is Bubbles LaRue. And that's pretty much what we do for this whole section.
Yeah, so enjoy Bubbles LaRue, everyone.
Listen, I'll admit it isn't easy to do, but I do love my body. It's a wondrous machine, even when there's nobody behind the wheel. I'll admit that, this keeps making this look like a bygone relic from a bygone age. Because this keeps making quantum leaps, while this is struggling to lift itself out of the chair. I imagine myself the life of the party, sexy, outrageous, free. Imagine myself the life of the party, sexy, outrageous, free. Sexy, outrageous, free. Bubbles LaRue, and I'm a sex worker. I used to work in a massage parlor in Minneapolis, St. Paul, where I was known as a tale of two cities. But I had to quit that job. My business fell off, and honey, it was painful. Then I up and hurt my back doing something you do not want to hear about. My doctor said he wanted me to stay off my feet for a while, but I didn't want to go back to work that soon. So for a time, I took a job with the circus. I thought I was going to learn me some new tricks, but they gave me a job circumcising the elephants. Well, I didn't really mind too much. I mean, the pay was lousy, but the tips were big. Then they put me to work with the trained dogs. They had every kind of dog. This one dog, a pit bull, when I'd enter the pen, he'd run over and start humping my leg. Know what to do when a pit bull starts humping your leg? Fake an orgasm. And then I got involved with the mystic. He said he was going to give me an orgasm that would reach down through the veils of time. And it's true. He fucked me so hard my grandparents came. So I hightailed it back to Austin, Texas. I had made the idea of going into politics. Don't scoff, honey. Politicians and me, we got one thing in common. You pay us to screw you. So anyways, I've been up there at that Capitol where I've been laying down the law, so to speak. And honey, you would not believe some of the stuff that goes on up there. This Republican woman, she comes up to me at a party. She's a little soused, right? Well, she wraps her arms around me, and she asks me to kiss her someplace that's warm, wet, and smells funny. So I took her to New Orleans. I never seem to change into anything even remotely lofty. New Orleans! That's my favorite joke from my days working the graveyard shift at the 7-Eleven. The girls from the massage parlor next door were in and out, so to speak, all night long. My relations with all were cordial, but I had my favorite, Miss Kitty Litter. We shared a sense of humor if we otherwise disagreed. She would trade her body for money and Marlboro's trips to SeaWorld. Wah, 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 wah. I hate to think what may have happened to her. Even then, she was cadaverous. Fashion or disease. Oh God! I'd given up smoking. Last one.
Well, so I hope that you enjoyed Bubbles LaRue. She's quite a treat. Peter, what can we look forward to in this next part?
Well, we've had a little break from the intensity, but we're going to get back to some intensity here. And we're going to get into some feeling of desperation, but also then it turns to where she reveals the reason why she used her mind control powers to bring the audience and gather everyone together on this particular day. That secret is revealed. I almost told you what the secret was, but that secret is revealed. And I'm right, aren't I?
You are right.
Okay.
Yeah, so she starts to really talk directly to you, our audience, about how fates are all coming together and have converged on this particular day, this particular evening, and that she has invited you all to come, and she is getting a little angry with some of you. I'm not going to name any names, but some of you aren't really like believing, like you're not buying what she's putting down, and so she gets a little upset with some of y'all. But then she gets wrapped up into the moment, and in the show, when it's staged, we would go directly on, but we'll have one more little pause where Peter and I will talk after this one and kind of set up the final kind of climax of the piece, what happens after we see why she brought you all here, and close out the show. So I hope that you're excited. I hope that you are ready to finally see why Dinah has brought you all here tonight, and we'll talk to you again soon.
I've been taught it's impolite to stare at someone who is eating. Don't tell me I'm eating because I'm childless. I'm eating because I'm frustrated. I'm eating because I'm lonely. You and my mother. Open the door, Dinah. We'll have a light lunch and the hairdressers at 3. All you need is a little color, a little heart. I know you're in there, Dinah. Come out. Oh, sure, Mother. I will when I'm perfect. I never should have given up smoking. But this is merest circumstance, like the robe I'm wearing, the attitude I adopt. It could change in an instant. It will change in an instant. It will change. All it takes is... Did you think I was referring to automatic mind command? Ha! Look. As the night deepens, the power of it wanes. It's finite, limited, good enough for the likes of you, a mere child's play in the face of my conjuring. I have moved far deeper into a mystery. Here is the source of my supreme confidence in the ultimate justice in the universe. Here is the salvation of body and soul. My lottery ticket. It's not a joke. I have a foolproof method of choosing the winning Lardo numbers. Of course, I realize the odds of winning are about the same. testing and experimentation, but I swear to you I have devised a plot, a scientifically perfect way to win the lucky lotto. Not just any lotto, not just any week, but for this particular lottery, on this particular week. Ungrateful whelps! I brought you here to witness my triumph, the victorious culmination of a lifetime of scheming, and this is what I get? Well, we'll find out soon enough, won't we? But when my boat comes in, I'll try not to be too smug about it. But I won't forgive your negativism. I might forgive, but I won't forget. But I won't forgive your negativism. I might forgive, but I won't forget.
She might forget, but she will not forget.
I won't.
She might forget, but she will not forget.
I have a memory of an elephant. But what if I should lose? Does that mean this is it? That everything I've schemed and planned for really has been for naught. Does it mean I lose that feeling I have when I hold this ticket of anticipation? This feeling that everything broken and sorry and drab is right there on the verge of a miraculous transformation. What if I lose that? Beer. But it acts as an antidepressant. How can I possibly lose? Alcohol affects me like this every time. I could be rich soon, very, very, very beyond your wildest dreams. Scrooge McDuck, rich, 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 rich. I have to win. I deserve to win. For once there has to be a winner who won't blow the whole damn money bin on sports cars and liposuctioning. And I wouldn't just save myself, no, I'd save us all. You'll see, our time is at 3 seconds from now. Good God!
Once in a lifetime, the time we're not gonna
Wait a minute, wait, no! There's not 31 of this ticket! No, this can't be happening!
Well, what a disappointment for Dinah and for us all. She had really put a whole lot of stakes into that lottery ticket, and we're about to see her get to her darkest place yet in the show, and she doesn't quite know what to do after she's built up this moment. She's built up this moment for herself, for you, and so we really get into a dark place, and she kind of is embarrassed and kind of doesn't even want you to be there anymore. And we get to the thing that if you came to our first part of the show workshop, we talked a lot about in the second part, this kind of existential taking off her clothes and body pieces moment. And that's where we're at now. When we actually stage the piece, Dinah will be in a suit that will have body parts that actually can come off. And so as Dinah talks deeper and deeper into like, who is she and what is her body, you'll see her referencing like pulling off an arm, taking off her breasts, even pulling off her pubis. And so you won't see that physically tonight, but you'll hear reference to it in the text and what is being said. And then from all of that, we've kind of built ourselves up into this crazy crescendo. And the only way to kind of resolve it is that the power goes out and boom, it kind of resets and recalibrates. Now, we won't have the powers go off with us tonight, but when you'll kind of feel that moment where all of a sudden we're in this amazing musical climax, and then Dinah will come in with Drat. So you'll understand what that moment is that way. And then we kind of get this beautiful epilogue, if you will, of her literally picking up the pieces of her body that she's torn off and putting herself back together. And it kind of shows Dinah's resilience and her ability to, with whatever gets thrown at her, get through it. And she might not be exactly the same as she was, but it's close enough to get her through. Peter, are there musical motifs or moments that they should be listening for?
There's a lot of reference to the Dance of the Seven Veils from Strauss's Salome opera. And then in the second half is sort of a general, the epilogue piece has a sort of general reference to the music of Purcell. So there's this like sexy, dissonant, late romantic stuff for the striptease that goes way too far. And then there's this sort of joyous early Baroque positive sound for the epilogue.
Yeah. So we hope that you will enjoy this final section of Lardo Weeping. Thank you for being with us.
Quit looking at me! If this is all you can see, I don't want you looking at me! That's the trouble with being an optimist. I really expected to be able to coerce the fates into finally dealing me a winning hand, just as I expected to be able to wring from you a measure of understanding on the deepest order, all with this. But this always stands in the way. But it's not just because I'm a mountain of flesh, which makes even my most eloquent pronouncements seem vaguely ridiculous, or that it's the flesh of a female, which makes my indignation seem hysterical, or that it's pink flesh, which makes my rantings against injustice seem somehow suspect, or that this flesh is so Falstaffianly theatrical, it makes me seem somehow false through and through. No, it's simply because it's flesh. Time for the great unveiling! The soul of Dinah Lafarge.
Two separate dresses from Marmite and Lane Bryant.
My father gave me these for my birthday. I sewed them together myself.
Ooh.
You can tell by the very uneven stitches I flunked home ec. Sewing, cooking, balancing budgets and meals. Layer 2.
2, 3, 4. Showed the people what she wore.
She wore an itsy,
Itsy,
bitsy,
itsy, bitsy,
teeny,
teeny,
weeny,
teeny,
sexy teddy. I have my sex fantasy life too. Which brings us back to this. Ugh. 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 Now what have I revealed about myself? That I wear my patriotism on my sleeve. That I believe in the right to bear arms. That I've got a secret yet to refer to my childhood. Become a man among men and kick some butt. But wasn't I shocked when out these popped? And all of the big boys literally stopped in their tracks to get a gander. They made me the goose. They made me the odd man out. They made me their living, breathing, sex magazine. Oh, no more mercy for baby. Baby, I'm just not every time. This must be a hotline to my inner self. Shh. Hello, Mom, Mother. A woman you say has a duty to her man, to her kids, to the church, to the flag, and as much as it pains her, as much as it pains her.
Why she stayed married. Maybe that's why she bitched and worked.
Maybe that's why she said no when the doctors told her, Mrs. Lafarge, we're sorry, but these two really have got to go. The only thing radical about my mother was her mastectomy. You know, I'm really glad to get this off my chest. best. Her last words that night. Dana, this disease is just like you. It has the most ferocious of the roaches like attacks. Now, Dana, this is gonna hurt me more than it will hurt you. Come out. Come out. Come out now. Little Julie. Little Julie. Hey. I'm not being femme. Boys have nicknames too for their little Johnnies, their little wounds. I might as well have one for my little decline in prestige, power, and play. I just felt a ring that made my blood run cold. Hello, God. A woman, you say, is just one step up from a beast. And a beast has no business at all using this line. Is there forgiveness in your heaven for me? No! I ate the one piece of fruit you really wanted for yourself. I should be ashamed. I've been a very unaccommodating dame, as much as it pains me. As much as it pains me. As much as it pains me, Father knows best. Wait a minute. I'm not even a woman anymore. I don't have breasts, don't have a pubis. What sort of rough beast am I now? It's under here somewhere. Oh, one thing that's me. I'm under here somewhere. I'll find it. I'll find it. One thing that's me. I'm under here somewhere. One thing that's me. Under all this. Under all this. I'm under here somewhere. I'm under here somewhere. Drat! I knew I should have paid that electric bell! Don't panic. Let me do the panicking for you. Always darkest before the dawn, huh? Drat! I knew I should have paid that bell. Why is it that every time I think I'm finally getting somewhere, something like this? You want the truth? Actually, I'm relieved. I mean, for God's sake, how much more introspection can a body take? It's amazing the abuse it takes. Like a cartoon, ding, room service, ding ding, room service. Piece number 9, piece 11, piece number 1. I say there, son, I said I say, I keep my feathers numbered for such an occasion. Foghorn, Leghorn. You know what gets me. Whatever else I lose, I can't seem to lose my thighs. Precaution, mere precaution. Pressing correspondence of the day, Series D, letter 128. To anyone who hasn't won the lottery lately, camarados, never lose heart. The hour is growing late. The odds are mounting against us. But there can be great victory too in the constant choosing of wrong numbers. In having lost and lost, I've lost and keep on losing. My life remains untouched by miracle. And I've got just, oh, I don't even need to calculate. I've got $5, 5 lousy bucks, and myself as is to offer. Boy, have I lost, but I always seem to find the strength to pick up the pieces, put myself back together again. Although each time it becomes more difficult, the pieces don't fit with quite the precision they once did. My body takes on this worn and beaten air, and it becomes harder and harder to fool myself into thinking, oh no, loser, it is not enough for you to endure. Must prevail so that you can fail again and again and probably again. But that is what I will continue to do. Fall apart, pick up the pieces, put myself back together again. Go on, a difficult life and unrewarded, but for your company, of course. Your company, what remarkable luck! Your company, what remarkable luck! This is my letter to the world, and never wrote to me. This is my letter to the world, and never copies to all surviving heirs, to the House of Gandhi. all surviving members of the reading public. Wile E. Coyote. Girl Scouts who would rather be Boy Scouts, and vice versa. Executive Offices of Automatic Mind Command. The Dog Cloning Project at Texas A&M. The National Association to Advance Fat Acceptance. Anyone who's had their laundry vandalized by aliens. Group out. Yeah, okay, thank you.
Thank you so much again for tuning in. We are so happy to have shared the second part of the Lardo Weeping opera that Lola has commissioned from composer Peter Sapchinsky.
Hey, Terry, Donna, y'all out there? Woo! We did it! We did it!
Be in touch, subscribe to our channel. If you aren't on our newsletter, you can go to our webpage and find ways to learn about when we'll be premiering the entire staged production and other concerts and such that we have going on. Stay safe and peace.
Title,